Am I really going to kick my Midori notebook to the curb? Really? Hey there, welcome back to another Grace video. I'm Grace, a serious fountain pen enthusiast. Welcome also if you are new. Now, stepping into 2026, I really hadn't thought about changing my OG Swatch notebook, ink journal, Midori. I have used the Midori A5 for the last 2 years, and I'm quite okay with this notebook. But I hadn't thought about changing it until our local P&W pen show, and I came across a new notebook. It's called the Canopus notebook. And that's when I thought, if I'm going to test this one out, what others are out there that might want to go along for the testing ride? The other two I will be putting to the test are a hemlock and oak notebook, and one I discovered at my local pen show table, local pen shop, not pen show, my local pen shop table at our Pelican Hub in 2025, Kunisawa. At first glance, all three are very different notebooks, and I'll share some stats about each one before I start testing the paper. But it's the reason for the test, right? Not as a general notebook to write in, but to use as my ink journal Swatch notebook. Did I do that right? I think that's, yeah. Anyway, the one I want to do for 2026. That's going to be the real difference, I think. Can any of them stand up to the Midori? Can they be equal to the Midori or surpass the Midori? We shall see. We shall see. The results, are at the end. But I'm going to go through and use the tools that I regularly use in my ink journal. Okay, let's get started. Okay, for the past 2 years, I have been using these two notebooks. These are the two notebooks for the past 2 years, 2024 and 2025. These are my Midori notebooks that I use. They're blank notebooks that I've used as my ink journal for the whole year. I call them my Swatch notebooks, but basically it's an ink journal that showcases my whole journey in each year for anything, new pens, new inks, swaps, whatever. I have a flip through coming of this latest one. This is 2025, the one I used in 25. You can see that I went from B6 Slim to A5. This was a bit too small in 2024, so I went to the A5 size in 2025, and I actually prefer that size. The paper is, let's go to here so I can show it. The paper is an ivory paper. I wasn't aware of the paper necessarily. I knew it wasn't white, and for my ink journal, I just didn't want it to be white. So anyway, that's why. I'm not tired of the Midori notebook, by the way. I'm not tired of using Midori. I absolutely love this notebook. I love how I can use each page. So back to back, I can use pages, and I don't have to skip pages or glue pages together. But I haven't tried a new notebook in such a long time that I thought I'd put these 3 notebooks to the test and see how they fare. I will be testing a selection of pens, a selection of markers, fountain pens rather, markers, and then one of the things that was really important for me, I want to swatch some inks because if it's my ink journal, it needs to stand up to the ink that I'm going to put it in. So let me set up here. Let me figure this out, and then we will get to swatching. Let's first just find out what I'm using. All right, here we go. These are the 3 notebooks that I will be testing out. The first one up is the Canopus notebook. Canopus notebook is, and this one is a blank notebook. It's filled with white paper. It's made by Yamamoto Paper. It's a Japanese paper company. And this paper was inspired by Cosmo Air Light. And they wanted to achieve a soft writing feel. And so they've come up with this paper. It is 73 GSM. It has 176 pages. It's supposed to show shading and sheening very well. As I said, I only got I got the one in blank. I'm so used to having blank pages. I know a lot of people use grid, and we shall see how that'll come. This one also comes with, where is it? A guide sheet. And so I've already amended the guide sheet because the guide sheet stops right there. And so I've amended it to, I've just drawn the lines down a little bit lower. So if I need to, I can stick this behind there and use it. Alrighty. The spacing on this particular is 12 millimeter line spacing. So that's a 6 millimeter box there. So there is that. Did you know, by the way, that the Canopus, this notebook, Canopus, it is named after the second brightest star in the night sky? I think that's really cool. Alrighty, let's put this one aside for a minute and let's go with this one. This is Hemlock and Oak. It's called Hemlock and Oak Archivist 70 GSM. Hemlock and Oak is a Canadian company, so it's a Canadian product. This book, I got this particular one in in grid size. I don't know. I have no clue if this grid is showing up. We'll see in editing if it does, and if it doesn't, that's okay. It has 288 pages, and the pages nicely are numbered. I found that one of the things that I did with this one is I actually went ahead and I numbered the pages because I wanted to see, mainly because, and I haven't done it yet, I wanted to do a table of contents, which I will do specifically later on. Just didn't have the time. Anyway, 288 pages. They're calling this Archivist 70 GSM. So the pages are 70 GSM, which is kind of cool. You know what? I don't know. I will, when I figure it out. I forgot what Midori is. I will figure that out and put it on the screen. The GSM Midori. They're calling this the cloth. I particularly wanted the cloth flex. So it's a flexible notebook. It's not hardcover, and it's a weaved cloth. This color is called Scarlet Oak, which is kind of cool. I have this cover on here. This is the Midori cover. This is the Kodoro cover. I most likely will put this on here, whichever one I use, basically. We'll see. From their site, I want to read from their site. This is our first recipe trial, and we are attempting to optimize for minimal show-through, ghosting, durability, and fountain pen friendliness. So that is the Hemlock and Oak Archivist 70 GSM. That's the second one that I'm testing. And the third paper, which these two are in the running for ink journal. This one, I just needed to test. This is a completely new notebook for me. I got it at my at the pen. What did I got it at? Brain fog. You are just not working with me. What am I doing? Pelican Hub. Thank you. Woo! I got it at Pelican Hub. Just fascinated by the paper. I have a whole video on this where I misrepresented the paper and all sorts of stuff. It's weird. If I remember, I will put in the corner that video. So this paper, Kunisawa is the name, and it is a cream paper. The paper is 81.4 GSM. There's 96 sheets in here. It feels very, the word I would use is luxurious. It feels very, very luxurious, and quite nice actually. Oh, it has a ribbon in it. One of the things I want to use this for is in my new TN that I got. I actually got these at the same time. And so this will be my, I'll tell you later about what this will be. The size is A5 Slim, that's what they're calling this. But it basically is the TN size. It has a grid layout and it has a ribbon bookmark. My favorite part of this notebook so far is this first page. I do not seek, I find. I absolutely love just having that at the front there. I don't know how much decoration I will put in it, but I still wanted to test it for use because I will be putting stuff, mainly journaling, but I just want to test and see what's available, how it fares, not what's available, how it fares. So, okay, let's begin. Let me set up here again, and then let's begin. I was going to test a whole slew of items, but I decided just to test the things that I use because it makes no sense testing what I don't use. So all of the pens in my, I love this holder, all of the pens, I got this in an Etsy shop. All of the pens that I will be testing are in here. I have a slew of fountain pens that I will be testing. And lastly, I have a few inks that I will be swatching. First up is one I use all the time. These are mild liners. I use these all the time, especially in my planner. I use these, but I have used them in my journal, ink journal before. So there are those two, good to go. The other thing I use very consistently are Tombow markers, mainly in my planner, but I do sometimes use them as underlining here. So I want to definitely do these two as well. The other things I use, not as regularly, but I still want to test them out, the paper out, these are the Kuretake Zig Dot pens. I have only a few of them, but I wanted to definitely test them out. Let's see. One more that I use regularly. This is the Le Pen marker. Is it a marker? I guess. I don't know. I use this regularly to write my ratings. And sometimes I use the Micron pen. This is 0.3, and I'm just going to do that here. Those are all of the markers. Next, I want to start doing the actual pens. And I chose a selection of pens to write with just to test how they run. This first one is my Pilot E95S. What I do on the second page, the second paper, and the third, I won't be talking a whole lot. I'll just be writing. Next one is my Estroke Esty Honeycomb, and it has the journal nib in it. This is a staple in any notebook I use. This is my Monteverde Ritma. It has a 1.1 stub in it. Alright, for some reason I completely forgot that my pen had run out of ink. What are you doing? Uh-oh. Okay, we'll be back again. Yikes! That was a lot. I filled up the pen way too much. It started dripping out all over everything. Band-Aid was all black and anyway. I think we are good now. Let me make sure. Ay, that was a lot. What? Alright. Last one I am going to record here is this is my Benu Summer Joy, and it has in it my parallel 1.5 nib. I want to make sure that that is clean. There's nothing there. No, there's nothing there. It is one of the nibs that I'm going to be using a whole lot, so I just wanted to test. Those are the pens. The last thing I want to do is I actually want to, I think I want to use this, but I'm not sure. This is what I use a lot right now in my ink journal. It would make sense to use this as for the swatching. Yeah, I think I'll do that. First ink up, I chose to use 4 different types of inks: a shimmer, a chromo shader, a sheening ink, and then a regular standard ink, because I want to see how it shows up at the back of the page. So first up is Colorverse Christmas Star. This is a shimmer ink. And the pen I'm using to dip is my Pilot Iro Utsushi dip pen. Alrighty. Next one up is Sailor Manyo. This is one of my favorite chromo shading inks. Beautiful, absolutely beautiful ink. The next ink up is a standard ink, and I've decided to use Birmingham Pen Company Scuttlebutt. Okay, that's that one. And then one of the inks that I got in my Diamine ink vent, this is Chaos. Chaos lives up to its name. Chaos is a extreme sheen. That's the new thing that Diamine is going with right now. those are what I'm going to repeat. These are what I'm going to repeat on the other notebooks. And then we shall see. Let me put this aside to dry. And then we'll go from there. Be right back. Let me set up for the next notebook. All right, if you remember, this one is the Hemlock and Oak Archivist 70. And we will start with what I did before. And I won't share what I'm using because I've already shared it in the first one. I'll just do like a time lapse of this going forward. Alrighty, second one down, finished. We will put this one away and then do the third one. Last one. I'm going to, I usually don't like to bend the pages, but I'm okay with this because this is a journaling notebook. Alrighty. I don't know why I did that because now I got my hands all over it. Okay, first one up, first two up. Let's start. Alrighty, I'm gonna let all of these dry and then I'm gonna come back in. I have some thoughts about this paper. I have some thoughts already. Alright, before I show the test from the other papers, I did this. This is actually my Midori notebook, my ink journal for 2025. And I put everything that I put on these other notebooks, I did here first. And I already did a small swatch of each one because I know how this paper swatches. I've had a whole year of history of it. But I did want to show the backside. Now, I didn't do these three because I won't be doing, these are the Kokomo, Kodomo, the weather stamp. I won't be doing that here. They bled through. That's not an issue for me. What is an issue is all of the others. You can barely see anything. You can barely see anything. You cannot even see the swatch of inks that I did down here. No ghosting, no bleed through, nothing here. I did have a problem with Solferino in the parallel nib on certain papers, but that's one of the reasons I wanted to write it here. It bled badly in, let me see if I can find that. This was, oh no, where is it? Okay. This was my cheat sheet for December, and look how badly that bled on this paper. I don't know what this paper is. I just picked it out. But look how badly it bled. So I definitely wanted to use the parallel nib on the papers, each of the book notes. And here in Midori, there is no bleeding at all, no ghosting, no show through, just nothing. Brilliant and beautiful. Alrighty, let's get to the other three. I'm gonna put them side by side if I can get them all in the camera at the same time. Alrighty, so this one is the Canopus notebook, and I will go through this one first. This one is the Hemlock and Oak Archivist 70 GSM, and this one is the Kuni, what is it? I never remember this darn name, Kunisawa. I had thoughts on this as I was swatching all of this, testing all of these out. We will go through each one individually first. Alrighty, first the Canopus notebook. Let's do that one first. Canopus notebook had beautiful, it wrote beautifully with all the markers. Absolutely loved writing with the fountain pens. Let's get a little bit further in. And the swatching on this paper was divine, absolutely divine. The paper shows the, look that just, oh my goodness. The shimmer, the shading on the standard ink, it just beautifully showcases. One of the things I like about this particular paper, in this particular one, is I got to see the underlying color of the sheen. This is Diamine Inkvent's Extreme Sheen. This is their Chaos ink, and it shows up a little bit further. It shows up as a sheen, but it doesn't, for some reason it didn't take over. And I don't know if it had to do with how I swatched. Remember, I used my spoon and I kind of moved the ink around. I think this is beautiful because it's going to be my ink journal. Love that. Let's see the test on the other side. I actually have not looked at these. I have not opened these, moved the page. So this will be my first reaction to seeing. Oh, not bad. There is barely any ghosting. I'm excited. Canopus, you did well. You can barely see, which means one of the things I like to do is I like to use the opposite side of the page. To me, and one of the reasons why I'm not a TMP person for ink journal particularly, I can use Tomoe River paper for journaling, but not for my ink journaling where there's a whole slab of ink going on a paper. And these two pages, if I swatch here, these two pages are lost to me. I don't like that, and which is why Midori has been the one. I can use the Canopus notebook. Oh my gosh, I can use the underside of the Canopus notebook. If you notice, I'm gonna show you this one. Let's do a serious swatch. thing going on. Let's see if I can find one. Okay, so this is currently inked. This is September currently inked, all on one page. And then I turned and swatched the inks from Pen Pal on the other page. That is just one page. No issues. You can fully see. You can see some of the, it's like a shadow behind, but it's not, it doesn't impede or bleed through, so the other page cannot be used. That's what I love about Midori, and I think Canopus does that beautifully, absolutely beautifully, and it showcases the inks. Oh, these 4 inks are just gorgeous. Wow. One of the things I did not do, did I do it with this one? I'll show it on the other 2 papers. The Kuretake Zig Dot Pen. I did light, medium, and then full pressure. I didn't do it here, but we'll see that on the other one. So let's put this aside. Let's put this aside for now, and let's get the second one. This is Hemlock and Oak Archivist 70 GSM. Let's put you here to weight you down just a bit. I'm liking how it wrote. I enjoyed writing with the pens. There is a difference in how, let me put this here. There is a difference in how the inks show up. I think these inks show up a little better on Canopus paper than they do, or more saturated, I should say, on Canopus paper than they do on the Hemlock and Oak. It's not that I don't like Hemlock and Oak, but I'm just looking at the saturation of the inks on the paper, considering this will be the ink journal. They show up, I think the inks show up a little bit better here as well. The clearness of this as compared to this one. And there is a Tomorrow River paper type thing here. The crinkly, I'm not a crinkly person. Yeah, that's definitely a heavier paper. Remember, this Canopus paper is 73 GSM and Hemlock and Oak is 70 GSM. So you can see the difference. Is that not dried yet? That's not even dried yet. Let's go to, let's do this one first. I want to go to the other side. I have got to test and see if that's still wet. Okay, that is definitely still wet. It takes a while to dry. Wow. I want to show the difference between these two, the Chaos, the Extreme Sheen. Okay, let's go and see. Okay, there we go. This has a little, you know what, I need something to come here. That's much better. Okay, you can see some ghosting here, not a lot. There's a crinkliness to this paper that reminds me of Tomorrow River paper, which is one of the reasons I don't enjoy it. It's a little bit too crinkly. And you can hear it. You can feel that it is a slightly lighter paper. I'm loving the fact that none of this ghosted came through. I can probably use this as a notebook, but not necessarily as ink journal, maybe. I think I wouldn't be able to swatch ink on this paper, on this side, if I swatched ink on this side. I wouldn't be able to do that here. Let's see. Okay. This is the Hemlock and Oak. This is the Canopus notebook. There is definitely a difference that you can see. These papers, this paper dried a little bit crinkly. And I purposely put a lot of ink down with the spoon so that I can see how it dries as well. This dries fairly flat. You can barely see anything there. I do want to go over, see how here the markers, the Kuretake Zig Dot Pen, it was a light pressure here and it was a heavy pressure at the last ones. You can see the heavy pressure, but it does not ghost through, doesn't bleed through, doesn't ghost through. I am, this makes me not want to use this one. because the second side will always, yeah, I do love that. The difference in these two, oh my God, there's such a difference in this paper and this paper to my eyes. This does well. This Hemlock and Oak, the Archivist, I think it does well. One of the things I enjoyed about the Hemlock and Oak is I actually enjoyed seeing the grid and using the grid to have a straight line. Canopus does not, I don't think Canopus comes in anything other than the blank. So if I'm going to use Canopus, I'm back to my blank paper again. This, I enjoy using this. I'm not sure it'll be my ink journal. I think this is just a notebook that I will use. Definitely. Alrighty, I really, really want to show. Let's get these two away. You are completely dry, right? Yes, you are completely dry. You're beautiful. I want to show this one. Oh my gosh. Okay, as everything was extremely dry, like even drawing with the marker here, it felt like I was pulling the paper, pulling the marker across the paper, really having to push to get it there. Writing with the pens was okay. There wasn't anything that stood out for me that made it a positive or a negative. They just wrote well. The thing that I noticed about this is I would put down the layer of color with the muddler end. So with this end, I put down the color. And by the time I rinsed this off and turned, this had practically dried in place. So I couldn't move the ink with the spoon at all. You can see that here. There's just like a blob of color. You can see the chroma shading. You can definitely see the chroma shading. But compared to that gorgeousness, and this would not showcase the ink very well at all. Those two are so very, you would think these were different inks, and they are the same. Same with these two. This is the Scuttlebutt, and there's a muted shade. It mutes the inks a little bit. Beautiful shading, beautiful color, beautiful. You can just see the properties of the ink, even in a standard ink with nothing in it. You can still see the properties. And this one, what is that? That's the underlying color. No sheen showed up. I'm just flummoxed by that. Let's get a close up. No sheen showed up. No sheen showed up. Alrighty, let's turn the page and see what we have. Oh, not good at all. Look at that. Wow. All the ink bled through. It's not even that we had ghosting. All the ink bled straight through. The paper just took that ink, and that's why this particular ink especially, all the flavor of this ink, the Sailor Manu Fuji, you cannot really see that. You just can't witness it. Wow. So yeah, this will definitely be only a writing journal, maybe stickers, because she did not do too well. Oh my goodness. Oh, Kunisawa, what are you doing? Of the two of these, for the test itself, I would say that if I'm going to use one of these as an ink journal, it can only be the Canas paper. Can only be. So my choice basically, oh my gosh. My choice is, do I want to continue using the Midori, or do I want to just jump in and just use the Canopus paper? I'm glad I tested the Hemlock and Oak. One of the things I have not been a fan of using grid paper because it's so structured. And as you can see, sometimes here I paid no attention to the line. Sometimes I paid attention, sometimes. And that's what I generally do. I use it for, to keep my writing straight, but not necessarily to stick to a line. I absolutely love this notebook. I love the feel of it. It's so nice. But it will not be my new ink journal. No, it just won't be. We need to get out of the way. So I have to decide whether I will use this one, or the only thing is this is not numbered, whereas the hemlock, I love that the hemlock and oak has numbered pages. So whichever one I use, the Midori or the Canopus, I will have to number the pages. I have no problem doing that. Okay, after doing this test, let me know. Let me put it out for you. This one is the Hemlock and Oak Archivist 70 GSM. This one is the Canopus. This is 73 GSM. Of these two, which would you prefer, strictly speaking, for an ink journal? Which would you prefer? And tell me why. And if you've used either one of these before, what do you, especially this one, what did you, if you've used the Hemlock and Oak before, I know I'm giving you a lot of homework, but that's okay. If you've used the Hemlock and Oak notebook paper or planner, no, not the planner, notebook, what did you use your notebook for? Yes, what did you use the notebook for? And would you consider using this one for? I love the fact that there's no bleed through on the pages, but yeah. I didn't finish that sentence, did I? I don't know what I was saying. I don't know. So, there we go. That is the test of these three notebooks. Yeah. I had to do this because I got stuff to do in my ink journal. All right. Thank you for watching. If you've enjoyed this video, please, please, please consider giving it a thumbs up. Also, if you really enjoyed this video, hype the video. Go ahead. This thing called hype. I'm going to say that now. Go ahead and hype. I wouldn't mind having a hype. I'll talk to you later.